Hello, hello, everyone. This is Jynnette The Oracle, and welcome to Oracle Talks. I am coming on to provide us all with a general message. Actually, I haven't done it in a while because I've been so focused on doing astrological messages. So we will be doing something different today, or rather, more what I've done previously in the past, which is essentially a check-in to see what messages Spirit has from us. Oh, welcome, welcome. We have someone tuning in from North Carolina drinking coffee and water. Welcome. Right now, I just have water, but I will be getting some more caffeine later. Yeah, so I don't expect this one to go too long. Of course, I always say that, but since it's not a in-depth message today, I expect it to be relatively short. But yeah, we'll just my intention when I was preparing for the space beforehand was just to get a message for that which is important for us to hear at this time. I wasn't necessarily getting a pull to do anything around Venus in Aries, which ingress today, or Jupiter in Cancer, that going direct next week. Maybe that will change next week, but for right now, it's really just a check-in. So take a couple deep breaths to center in, at least four. Call in the power and the presence, of course, of your higher self, your inner divinity, along with your elevated beneficial ancestors and personal guardian angels and protectors to be here with you now, to set up energetic protection for you, to neutralize, cancel, clear, and delete any and all harmful energies, entities, cords, etc., from your space so that you can receive these messages, receive the energy transmissions coming through, as well as asking them to purify, sanctify, and divinitize your energy field, your aura, bringing your mind, your emotions, your will, your body into harmonious alignment with your spirit, with your inner divinity. And with every breath, allowing that intention to root deeply in your bones, in your nervous system, in your will, in your intention, in your attention. And asking your soul, asking your spirit to bring up to your conscious awareness and to the awareness of spirit anything that is cause for concern, or any pains, questions, desires, things like that. Okay, and we'll see what message spirit wants to relay to us. Okay. So first cards are out are 3 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and the Empress. And so far at the center, 7 of Swords. I will be expanding this, but let me get these initial messages out because this is the core message. So that which is arising for us to pay attention to is the 3 of Wands. Welcome to folks who are coming in. Please do introduce yourself in the comments. If you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, please and thank you. So 3 of Wands. So this is talking about specifically in this imagery, you have someone who is on the other side of, where they're trying to get to, and they are looking back at essentially the destruction that they escaped from, or whatever the treacherous path that they had to endure in the midst of, this volcanic eruption that happened here. And they have their 3 wands, what they need, and they are taking a moment to look back, or maybe several moments to look back on the path that they were just on, right? The transitional period that they just went through, and essentially reconciling the fact that they actually can't go back now. Right? Like literally hot lava. So there's no turning back, but there is almost this air energy of possibly slight nostalgia. I guess it'll depend on the person, but ultimately the message is that this energy, what we're having to focus on is the fact that the character here, us, is not actually looking forward. We're still referencing the past, looking at what has just happened, and just happened being relative. The action to take is the 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups, which is about looking at all the possibilities, all the options in front of you. This is literally an opposite energy, right? The water energy. It's not looking at the past. It's looking at, these are cups floating in the sky. So these could be ideas, possibilities, or literally something directly in front of you. Okay. Past energy, we have the 6 of Wands. So again, that accomplishment, having made it across or through this transitionary period, and there is success there, but it is hard-won success because 6 of Wands is success after an actual battle, not just like work. This is having to deal with obstacles, tough times, etc. And then our strategy to do the 7 of Cups is the Empress. So the Empress and Emperor talk about personal power, agency, responsibility. The Emperor would talk more about like structure and plans. This is, so the Emperor would be more the how. The Empress would be the what and the why. Okay. What you want, why you want it, complemented by, okay, how you're going to go about getting it. All right. But the clarity about what you want and why you want it is here. So I'm glad that this is showing up, because this means that this is actually known. Okay. And this is to be informing the options that one chooses to engage with. Okay. Like this really needs to be the focus, what and the why, and what you choose to engage with, because we're being alerted by spirit, because it's a message for all of us. So take it in the context that it needs to be for you, but this is for all of us. This is being alerted to us by spirit of this constant referencing to what we came out of, rather than the majority of the focus and energy being on that which is next, the possibilities moving forward. Okay. And I know that it's easier said than done, especially for those of us here in the US, just at a national political scale, the things happening in addition to whatever might have been going on in our lives the last couple of years, etc. But spirits like this is the message, right? So let's expand this. One second. One more thing with this Three of Wands. This is also the Sun in Aries, which is spring equinox, literally happening as of the time of this live stream in about 2 weeks ish. So yeah, it's just this constant not looking at what's not available. I'm curious about what that. I mean, I get it, like especially because this is a time period where um it's not just, new cycles, new beginnings, because we have those regularly, but it is a little bit bigger because these are larger generational shifts that are um, happening. So it's similar to almost a full overhaul of okay. So it's like a full overhaul of obstacles, diversions, etc., related to our sole purpose. Whether these obstacles, diversions, etc., have been self-imposed and or externally exposed or a mix of both. Regardless, it's the same about the soul purpose stuff. And soul purposes is again not a job, although it can relate to work. It's also going to be just everything that is related to what the soul desires, and there are pivotal points in life where um, the soul does ask you to make concerted effort to go after certain things. So this could be, more education, maybe a particular career path, relationships, maybe moving somewhere. Like there are specific points in time, usually every 9 to 10 years or so, with the nodes, where that comes up. So there's also probably like this big nodal influencer as well, or at least that's being used as a reference um, right now, which would make sense because the nodes are still in Pisces and North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, and these are the zodiac archetypes that have to deal with soul purpose and major turning of um, the wheel, so to speak, in terms of pivotal time periods in our lives, regardless of where it actually shows up in the chart. But on a collective level, that in addition to these generational, ancestral, well, ancestral and astrological shifts and changes, that is definitely adding to this message. So I can understand why there is a collective, continual peering, if you will, to the past, but spirit's not wanting us to spend a lot of time doing that. Like we know what we need to know. Okay. And it feels like it's also something that we need to focus on getting back to the nodes, because this shift is interesting. The shift is going to be happening over the summer into Aquarius. However, we're already in the energy of that now because the new moon solar eclipse that we had, what was it, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, was in Aquarius. So we're kind of already in the future. We're kind of already in that next step already, even though technically the nodes haven't shifted in tropical astrology. And Aquarius, of course, is associated with the themes of the 11th house, which, in addition to, associations, meaning like large groups, technology, innovations, and things like that, this does also have to deal with our dreams and goals for the future. So, again, soul purpose. So, that support is there, at a collective level to really do this work of considering the options and possibilities and reminding ourselves that we do know what and why with the Empress here. All right, so we are showing up as the Queen of Swords, and the environment is Queen of Cups. So this, okay, I'm hearing very specifically this decision making is something that we need to do on our own, meaning the final decision, the final choice is on us. So it's not that you can't talk with folks or like be presented again with more options, more knowledge about what is possible with others, but obviously, ultimately, the decision is on you. It's not, that part is not a group project. So there may be a hesitancy to make certain decisions or be that committed to something if you feel like you're not guaranteed success from the outside. But the thing is, and I'm being reminded, if you're going to spend time doing this looking back situation, then use it to your advantage to think about a time in the past, and most likely it's going to be 9 to 10 years or 18 to 20 years prior, where you were starting something or many things new, and the mindset, the willingness, the ability to take risks had to be there. And where you may or may not be willing to be that vulnerable again now, for whatever reason. Again, where you might be trying to seek guaranteed success. And guaranteed success being getting this success of the 10 of Pentacles in less time than you got success previously. Like wanting the process to be shorter or faster because there's already experience of success in the past. But that's not how it works. It always requires the same care and consideration. And this may be um this honestly may be a source of hindrance depending on your age. Like the older you get, you might be more you might become more regimented in this thinking of, okay, I already know what to do, I already see how this can play out. How can I optimize, make this better, or leverage, what I would know now to again skip parts of the process or speed parts of the process up. Um, and while there may be some wiggle room on that, the figuring out phase still is going to take the time that it needs because it is a creative process. So that really is not going to get shortened, to be honest. So that's one. And then two, the testing out the experience in real life also can't get sped up because whatever the new is, these new options that we're working with, again, new job, new relationship, new location you move to, new creation of friends group, whatever this is. You still have to go through the experience of like what happens when you engage in this new job or this new career path or this new relationship or this new friend group. Like that still has to happen. We don't actually know how it's going to play out. That the external world is not, these controllable data points where it's like, I give this particular type of output and this is the reaction that I expect. Like it's just not. So wisdom and experience, again, in some cases in many cases can minimize the trappings of foolish decisions from the past. Now I'm saying foolish, not stupid, okay? Because foolish is simply like just the not knowing. It can minimize that, but it's not a solution or a get out of jail free card for still having to go through the whole process all over again. So it's important to maintain that flexibility, which is not necessarily a strong point of this energy. So this is for all of us who are, whether we consider ourselves emotional or not, when it comes to again our dreams, visions, and goals, can very much be in thought idea space heavily to the point where we stop thinking about, where we stop allowing for the actual experience to play out. So that stuff may be in play, but again, That's not the issue that's being brought up from spirit. It's this Three of Wands energy of looking back. But it may be, see what resonates for you. So what's coming through on this Queen of Cups is because this is the environmental energy, the good idea or the intention or whatever it's going to be, because again, the context is going to be different for different folks, is not going to be enough. Because that's just the what, right? The why is also important, the heart of the thing. The heart of the thing isn't emotion, but it's like, again, the why are you going after this thing? Why do you want this thing? Why is this important to you? What are the values that you have? The why, the vision, the purpose. Okay, the what and the why. That's what this is responding to. The environment is responding to, not so much this. Okay. This energy might be leaning more towards the Emperor, where it's getting hyper focused on the how. Um, but again, given the context of this reading, hyper focused on what was. But if we do this work of the Seven of Cups, this is a strength, the Queen of Swords, because it can get really clear, really committed, because this is strong decision making. This is another type of judge, right? Making something law. This is a really strong supporter and contract creator with what it is that you're visioning and the possibilities. Now, it's not to say that you are following this. Okay. But this is the language that the environment is speaking, at least right now. So it'll be easy to navigate and connect with this and whatever the environment, and again, as if whatever the environment is, again, if whether it's a job situation, relationship, friendships, what have you. Okay. It'll be easier to relate and work with this once you decided on the cup or cups, on the forward path that you're going, rather than continuing to look back. Because this energy is waiting, truly. In the spread, the cup is being offered to this Queen of Swords, but this Queen of Swords sitting here in contemplation, doing this, rather than engaging here. The Queen of Cups energy is not impatient. Okay, so this message isn't saying that like, oh, if you don't do this, opportunity is going to pass. It's just saying like, this is chill. Queen of Cups. So, there's time to turn the wheel of you to this action. Okay, so I'm getting another message, more clarification around that. Approximate 9 to 10 years ago, if that's resonating for you, that was a point in time where there was an important shift that occurred. And this is for everybody, actually. So it's not if it resonates, it's actually for everybody. There was an important shift or pivotal point for everybody around 9 to 10 years ago, approximately. And this, for some, okay, for this pivotal point for all of us around 9 years ago ish, it was about getting on track with our soul purpose for the next stage of life. Some folks did, and some folks did not. Now, of course, for some who might not have done it at that time, they might have got on track a few years later. But it was a specific soul purpose path, kind of choice point that was there for everyone. So everyone is essentially grappling with the consequences of those prior decisions. Meaning those same considerations are coming up right now, or if you feel like you're kind of lost and not sure what's going on, then this is specificity for you of what to look at that time, and possibly in the few years leading up to that time, to give you a sense of what this is about. So, for those who chose not to go on that path of pursuing what their soul was pulling them towards, whatever that was, because it was, I'm sure, many things, because soul purpose can be many things. Um, this is the time now to say yes to that and to spend the time now moving forward in pursuit of that. And yes, is going to seem difficult or possibly more cumbersome than it might have in the past, but difficulty does not mean a no. Like, just because something requires effort on your behalf, or again, it's not going to go as fast as you think it should, or how it might have gone in the past, or in the way that you prefer. Okay, like, does not mean it's a no. All right. So it's time now to get back to that, and get back to what was actually coming up before, not creating new stuff. Because this can also be facing illusion. Like, it's, if you didn't give yourself, your soul, what it was asking for beforehand, and the asking for again is literally just the intentional um pursuit of it, And ultimately, like, you would have had some version of success or accomplishment with that thing because it was something that the soul desires. So there would have been some fulfillment there. Okay. If that did not happen, okay, you, for whatever reason, chose not to follow the urgings of your soul, diverted from that path, etc., it's time to go back to those same things, regardless of whether or not you think you can. If it's coming up, that means you are to do that. The soul has not forgotten. Soul purpose, those things that your soul desires are, they already come locked and loaded with support. So, when you hear people talk about how, what's for you won't pass you by, what's for you won't pass you by. Now, you can definitely make it harder on yourself. But the reason it won't pass you by is because it is already encoded with support. Okay. So ways will be made to open up connections, resources, etc. Um, just enough to get you where you need to be. Sometimes it'll be, nice and happy little flow, but trust and believe, like it will be there. Um, Again, the amount of time or the effort or the complexity of certain steps does not mean it's a no, right? You might not want to do certain things. You might not want it to take however many years it's going to take. That is irrelevant. Um, if it's sole purpose, if it's something that actually is there for you, the support is already encoded. It comes with it. So it's time to get back to it. Now, for those of you who did say yes, um, this Three of Wands energy is less about, you trying to figure out where you are, where you're going, and that type of stuff. And it's more about doubling down on the what and the why, and considering what the next stage of that what and why, i.e., your soul purpose, is. Okay, so it should be something that is a progression, next stage, next step for what's already in place. It should not be any type of building from scratch, building brand new, starting over, unless there's things that are added to, but the core fundamental things, because again, this figure does already have the core things that it needs with the Three of Wands. Aspects of what has already been experienced, achieved, etc. Relationships that have, community that's already in place. Okay. You're already going to be building upon that or taking that to the next stage. But you're still starting from the beginning of that next stage. Okay. This is not next step energy for where we are collectively with this message. This is the beginning of another 9 to 10 year cycle. So it's the beginning of that stage. Okay. So it's only 3 wands here, not 6 or 7 or 8. It's the beginning of that stage. So this is like work and career. It's like, okay, you may be shifting into different role, different industry, maybe starting a business. You are starting from the beginning stage of that new thing. And then gonna be moving up. So it's like that phrase of how's it go? The top of one mountain is the valley of the next mountain. Like that's what this message is for folks who did go on their path of whatever the soul purpose was that came up 9 to 10 years ago. Okay. The mountaintop that has been, summit that has been reached is now the valley of the next mountain. Okay. So context matters with this. And you can't go back down the other mountain because of this. You have to move forward. Which is why this what and why process is also really important for you, because you may be trying to envision or do options related to the mountaintop, if you will, of the past, rather than really thinking about the what and why, and focusing on what's required for getting up this new mountain, climbing this new path of soul, this new stage of soul purpose. I'm going to say this again, and I think because this energy is here, it's so strong, this Queen of Swords. You can't get this wrong. Like the point is to make the effort, to take action, and to make the pursuit. This is years long process, so it's just go in that direction. Where our wisdom and experience can help us is we can be really clear when we are making good, sound, authentic, grounded decisions versus when we are trying to receive validation, wanting to be understood in a certain kind of way, like, whatever it is. But you can't really do this wrong. It's just take the action and pursue what's on your soul heart. Even if it's scary, right? Like, this is not, it's not an emotion thing. It's a heart thing. And that's really the message here, the Queen of Cups here in the environment. The environment wants the heart, wants the soul purpose. Again, that's what it's responding to. And that is actually what the success is going to be based on, the foundation. Really allow, okay, it's important that we allow ourselves to be with the experience as we are now and remain adaptable and pliable to the experience, and not, again, allow the past to give us new ways to judge ourselves and how we go about that process. I think that's the message. That felt like a final yawn. Okay, yeah, it was. Okay, so let me just get closing guidance and we will bounce. Not too bad. 45 minutes. Closing guidance. A lot of messages. Okay. It's interesting. One of the cards that came out is this Five of Pentacles. And this is very much feeling like perspective. A sense or a feeling that you don't have enough, whatever that is. But you didn't have enough before. And you still pursued soul purpose, for those of you that did pursue. For those of you who did not pursue, if you had pursued, even at that time, you still didn't have all the resources you needed. This is par for the course when you're at the beginning of climbing that mountain. Because you're looking at the mountain like, do I have everything I need? I know I don't. I'm going to need blah, 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 blah. And especially if there already is experience with the thing. But there are resources along the way. Resources in broad term. Your job is to make use of this, because this does and can and has grown into more. Even if you only had one pentacle, but you have 5. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but this can be a victory pose. It's like, all that I have, now what I'm going to do with it is very, very forward focus energy in this card on the positive side. And that's what's nice about having what seems to be less. It forces you to be very specific and aligned about what you do with your resources. Resources being broadly referred to here. Everything and everyone is not going to get one of those pentacles, because you literally cannot. So it forces you, or it can force you. And I would assume if you're watching this and engaging with this work, and me, that you are using this as a way to keep yourself focused and aligned on the things that actually are important and a priority to you. I'm hearing the phrase momentum matters. I might actually make that the title for the video. Momentum matters. Not the resources. Ooh, that's a word. That's a word, especially too for the business folks out there, entrepreneurs, because obviously things have have been volatile. Um, Momentum matters, and focused attention matters. But no, that's the message. You know what you need to do. It's important to spend time to think and really question your perspective on things when you go into the, well, I can't do this or that. You can. More likely you're saying that because whatever the thing or things you have to do simply require more time than you would prefer or are more complex than you would prefer. But I'm hearing that's not an excuse to not say yes to soul purpose. And especially if you're interested in cultivating and embracing and using your soul power, which I am, and that's a big thing for me with helping people to do, then the workings of your own hand, your own efforts, your own fire is what gives you that. It's not given outside of you. If it's for you, it's for you. So stand on business. Regardless of the amount of time it takes, regardless of diversions or pauses, stand on business. Business being your sole purpose and everything that's connected to that. It none of it has changed. Regardless of external circumstances, none of it has changed. Regardless of external circumstances, none of it has changed. One second. I feel like this is actually connected to a bigger message. I won't get into it now, but I just want to check in to see if I'm correct, and I am. Any questions before I bounce? Oh, it's like 111 right now. Okay. It's 111, so I'll leave it there. But okay. I don't see any questions, so I will go ahead and bounce. The March report is up on the blog now, so you can go to the website. It's scrolling at the bottom as well as in the description below. If you'd like to buy me coffee or tea, you can send me a donation. Also, info scrolling below as well as in the description. The availability for sessions will be updated on Sunday. So check that out if you want to book a session. And I believe that's it. I don't have any big announcements for right now. So yeah. Spend these next couple of weeks working on this, and I feel okay. Spirit's like, spend the next 2 weeks thinking on this, because I'm just like, oh, we do have the spring equinox coming up, so I think we really do have 2 weeks to get clear about things. Not that everything is going to change in 2 weeks, but that getting clear about the what and the why, and making a decision about what you're going to do moving forward, what that looks like. Get as much as that clarified as you can over these next 2 weeks. Like, make that a priority, put forth the effort. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. That's not the goal. You just want to shoot for that. 70% is a passing grade. So, okay, so as long as we get to the 70, that's a yes. Like, Spirit doesn't wait for 100%. So get to the passing grade, and shoot for the A, shoot for 100. But even if you only get to the 70, to a C, it still passes. Okay, that's you get to pass go, collect your 200, and move on for the sole purpose. So let that be the goal. That's everyone's assignment for these next 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll see what comes up next week for Oracle Talks. All right. Love you all much. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe wherever you are. And God willing, I'll see you next time. Bye.